Hello, friends. Hello, audience. This is an addendum, some clarifications on the commentary in video number 3. So I'm going to start now. Okay, I'm going back to this. I know I'm getting on your nerves and all, right? But then, if this is the junction between good and evil, or between Ishmael and is Isaac, or Sarah and Hagar, then the attachment to Parker is really outside of the center, right? Outside of the center or the junction, right? Of the junction, meaningly, she has uh, she has attached to Parker outside of the junction, right? Uh, let's go see something here, right? That's Brett. She is cohorting with Brett now, or controlling him, right? Or he is all these personalities are somehow uh, indicative of names or entities that are in the angelic or demonic world, right? There is a possibility there, these two at least. Hagar was taken in the center. John Hurt is really in the center. So Abraham has a wife, Hagar, and a son from here. But Sarah has taken up Brett outside of the center. And she also attached to Parker outside of the center, or the junction point, which I believe is that Middle East thing, or Palestine, or something of the sort. Here, where they're all joined in the same location, same thwas, same place. And then the Knox, and then we see that Hagar attached to someone here without name. And that's the 11. That's the 11. Good and evil, supposedly. Okay, so now Ishmael or Cain attaches to two entities that are not visible here, but they're on the right side. They're going to the right. As you saw, when he is awakened, he was looking to his right, not to his left, right? While his mother, Hagar, she is really in two different places. At the bottom, that is, let's say, sexually, for reproduction, she is attached to the one on the right, while her head, her psyche, or her psychology, or her loyalty and allegiance is really to the one on the left, right? Notice. But that's outside as well. Now, Brett attached to someone here. That's also not counted among the 7 crew members. Knox again, and now that's the left. So that's the 11, religion of 11, or concept of the 11, right? So here, what they're trying to say is Hagar, while she has a son and lineage and reproduction by the one on the right, she really, her allegiance and pertinence, as well as loyalty and belonging, is really to the one on the left, right? So that's why in the movie you see her attached to her offspring, which is Cain, as will become visible or obvious later. I will explain it. She's also alongside Ripley, so she is like shilly-shallying. Now you may say, But that's the word alien. You know what? It could be a coincidence, right? That this is happening. I assure you, this is not the word alien has been carefully chosen, and for that particular reason. This writing the script apparently taken longer than usual, and there are more people who participated in the authoring of this script and thinking out this script than what you're being told. Remember O'Brien saying that no one book is written by one man alone. Okay, so these two, here's what I'm thinking. Now, the reason I brought you back here is explaining Lambert's position, who is Hagar, that she's here and there, right? And but now the appearance, and now Cain is all the way to the right, right? He's these two attachments. He's got like two angels, right? One on the right, one on the left, right? But then he has that xenomorph as a son, right? Son of Cain, remember? And then, but at the same time, Ripley and Yaphet Kotto or Parker also at the same time they also share a small bar here. So here's what I'm thinking. This is here. The movie is dual, right? Is a struggle of survivalism and so on between Cain's son, who is all the way to the right, and then Yaphet and Parker as well as Ripley, who's Sarah, and that's Jonesy, right? Jonesy. So the problem here is Xenomorph and Jonesy the cat. So Jonesy the cat, as I explained, is not exactly a cat, but he has the characteristics of the cat, and he's got the look and so on and so forth. So he's got like a dual personality. He's nice and kind and good pet, but at the same time, he's the most vicious creature in nature, right? So that's why I brought you back here. I also have a reason to believe that the Jonesy is really Parker's son by way of Sarah. Maybe, maybe not. I do not know. But right now, it does appear like no, it's not, because the link is really in the dogma and up, not here. So here, Ripley has attachment or unification or union between the one on the right and the one on the left, right? 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 Remember skull and bones and stuff like that? Right? So I think he's either adapted or found or something. Or maybe he's Parker's son. I will show you why I'm thinking that. Okay, the other explanation here is the introduction means battle lines have been drawn here, right? And everybody taken up their position and so on. So there's the 5 here and there's the 6 here. These guys are, Cain is totally on the right. This guy is probably just neutral here. He's just the father and trying to run the ship. Otherwise, he just want to go home, right? And then here, there is a very obvious confusion on part of weakness or undecisiveness on part of Hagar or Lambert, that she goes like between the two, right? She's related to the one on the right by way of genetics, and then her head belongs to the one on the left. Historically speaking, that's a lie. There's no such thing, of course. Okay, here is the screen that looks like the blue screen that looks like the green one. I remember I showed you in the previous video the screen that scrolls up with these numbers. They're probably the same numbers or not, right? But these are awakening, right? And marshalling, right? But notice the borders of the screen or the bezel, right? Doesn't have anything, right? No lights, no nothing, just screen, right? So, right? So these helmets, like I said, may also represent entities that are sitting there, right? I do not know. 5, right? 7 and 5 is 12, right? So there's the 7 that are hibernating or in the temple, right? And then there's the 5 helmets, right? Which you do not see. The 5 helmets. So if you add 5 to 7, you will get 12. And that's how many were in those bars scrolling in the word alien, right? Okay, here I have a note to make. I had the theory that really, because of the display at the beginning and name alien, and how I said that Cain has the xenomorph and it's from above, right? He's looking above and so on, right? And I suspected that. So this is where the focus is, right, on these two, right? While Jonesy, right? Jonesy is really Parker's son. I don't know. I mean, but it looks usually when they put the two in the line of sight at the same time, and then they show you how he's happy and so on. Let's see. So I think that's his son from Ripley, but this is just only a theory. See, she's put the food in front of him, right? Let's go again. Did you see it? See, she was feeding him and then she was feeding herself, but now he's looking, he's like he's at the same place, right? Let's go again. Could Brett be a representation of the cat? I don't know. I don't think so. I am not sure, right? Brett maybe is the representation of the cat that, you know, there's some kind of a virtuality here or metaphors in this movie, right? Somebody represents somebody else. So this guy's behavior is really the cat. I don't know. So here,
I am cold.
the two birds may be sharing the resources together, right? Okay, here, Brett, as you can see, he's talking to Brett, and then Jonesy shows up, right? On the two sides of Jonesy and Brett are on the two sides of Ripley, right? So I think maybe I am right. That Jonesy is really Brett, maybe, right? And Parker is his father. Jonesy being representative of, Brett being representative of Jonesy here, may be problematic, but it's closer to reality to say that Jonesy is the son of Parker.
Right. He's dead.
Okay, so here communications with Antarctica and so on may also be communications with the people behind enemy lines, right? You know, those underground sleuths, is that what it is? Spies, you know, saboteurs and so on. There's communication going on now between them, telling them, you know, hey, we're coming, right? Don't hear the sounds, right? I don't know what that sound is, right? But that's what I'm thinking. If that's Parker and Brett, they are now way behind enemy lines. They're not here, not anymore. So the communication is now commencing. So Brett and Parker are going to start, you know, the act of corrupting and messing up and destroying and deceiving and disabling and, you know, all kind of things behind enemy lines to make sure the expedition is successful.
Right?
Okay. Plug us in.
So it does appear like this guy doesn't know. And again, we're blue here, and the blue is protected by red, right? Blue and red, and the yellow appears to me the yellow is somewhere in between. You know, either interfacing between them on communications or, you know, things of the sort, or genetic material, because Dallas wears yellow wings, right? And then the Balaji, as I was going to tell you this, and then you see these wings of Zoroaster, right? Which is a historic forgery, right? This is much later, much later than they're saying it is. It's closer to probably 500-600 years, maybe less than that even. So now Balaji is like breaking down and so on. But here, it may, and again, that seems to me like that's a king. You know what? I better postpone it. Give me a second, because it's got something to do with, with personalities and breadth as well.
Where's Earth?
You should know.
It's not our system.
So here we're still in, now the expedition is just commenced, right? They're outside of the battlefield, or let's say Arabia for that matter. Right now they're preparing and waking up and getting the forces ready, Air Force, satellites, you name it, right? When they land is really when the battle commences, right? And Antarctica, like I said, as I explained it with like conspiracy theory in video 3, this here, an addendum on video 3, but this here could mean, I'm trying to correct it now, or present the options or the possibilities. So Antarctica means the enemy, right? They're communicating with their own people on the other side, right, of the battle, right? Behind enemy lines. So this here may mean like those money supply and whatever communications is growing hot, because look, it goes red and dim and so on. And then that thing, that body, which I thought would be probably an elephant, right? And later you'd hear the elephant trumpets. There may be hanging him, right? He's being hung. So anything that's hanging from the ceiling or anywhere else may mean God, or they mean by God by it, or Allah, right? So here they're hanging him.
What are you talking about?
That's not our system.
So why do you think when Dallas announced that there's a transmission, mother received a transmission, right? And then notice he's wearing yellow here, right? Here, Cain is looking at him and he's sitting down. Here, it is reminiscent of, say, a father that is talking and his boy is standing next to him, listening to him keenly, right? Boys always like pay attention to their fathers, and they're next to them. That's what I'm seeing here. This guy turned his back. Now, this guy. So there is Cain, Lambert, Dallas. That's one side, but Lambert or Hagar is vacillating, shilly-shallying. She's connected to the two worlds. Can we say she's neutral? Maybe, I don't know, or something of the sort, or dumb, stupid, like she doesn't know what's going on. Ripley, Parker, Jonesy, and Brett is the other side, and that's the apparently the conspiratorial side. This guy has his own agenda that's going on, but he is related to this world here, right? Let's watch it.
Some of you may have figured out we're not home yet. We're only halfway there.
What?
I don't know.
Jim.
Unknown.
So what? We're obligated, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, let's go with the bonus situation. We never know.
Parker, will you just listen to the man?
States any systematized transmission indicating a possible intelligent origin must be investigated.
I don't want to hear it.
No, no, let him tell us.
I want a moment party.
Parker, will you just listen to the man?
With penalty of total forfeiture of shares.
You got that?
Yeah.
I'm going in.
Yeah. I'm going in.
We all hear that, Lambert? I want to bring to your attention something here. The tiger chuffing, right? That sounds like a tiger chuffing, meaningly the opponent is really a tiger, not a small cat, right? Or that's the sound of the xenomorph, that, or the one in the egg, you know, the face hugger or whatever xenomorph in there, that they're trying to capture. It's really a tiger, a cat. Excuse the light. That's like I have a light here, so that dot really is just a
Doesn't
light
sound
I
like any
have.
radio signal I've heard. Maybe it's a voice.
It's a voice, yeah. It's a voice.
We'll soon know. Can you hone in on that?
So here in minute 1821, as they are landing on the planet, right? And there's that constellation, but that constellation is definitely interesting to me. It does look like a dragon flying. So that's the head of the dragon, and the dragons usually have smaller wings, right? And that's its tail, right? Well, I'm not mistaken here, am I? Right? So yesterday I made fun of Parker's face, but then it hit me because I saw it again. It was that when he heard the elephant trumpets, he got disturbed. Let me show you, because it happens twice. So that's not metal creaking loudly. What the hell is that? So he got scared. He's a coward. Lambert, the fallen angel, is just a coward. I'm not making this up. You will see that later in the being hinted at in the movie here. His eyes went white, right? Notice his eyes went white, you know, like of fear. Something big, right? And of his own world, supposedly, in the fallen angels and so on, and angels and demons and so on, something really big. He got disturbed, you know. Right? Notice. So that's intentional, really.
Let's go with it.
Let's go with it. He just gave the order. Commence the expedition. Commence the fight. So here he makes a statement. I will explain it to what I think it means. Kill drive engines. Here what he means is cut off their support, like you know how they send like Air Force and rockets and so on, and disrupt the engines. Here it may mean decapitate the governments or military coups and things of the sort. But here kill means kill, really. It's not, and the drive engines are those who drive society, such as economical viability, such as refineries or, you know, and so on and so forth, you know, before they advance, right? And then, of course, you see that thing here. I don't know what the heck that is, right? We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4. Yeah, 8. And then you got, that's the probably the planet. And then you got those three supposedly moonlets, right? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. So he just issued order to Parker and Brett, who are infiltrators, saboteurs, and so on, to do so and so, right? And they in themselves, they have their own, cells and blah 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 blah. And here, Brett plays a very important role in that situation, to who he is and so on and so forth. Right here, they're like basically carpet carpet bombing the scene here. Okay, so as you saw, Brett really is not on the same bridge, right? Sorry, there's a little bit of confusion. I think I clicked pause here. So let me go back and do some more explanation, right? So here, floodlight are probably, divergence, you know, or carpet bombing or something of the sort. The enemy here is being flooded completely.
Got 5G, still at home. No problem, just download this. Great status. Okay.
So here, I think, you know, the spray here is like they're carpet bombing and then blurring, you know, with intense lights, meaningly disinformation, meaningly things of the sort, and so on and so forth. Here, they're like trying to illuminate the enemy positions. Here is like carpet bombing. Oh yeah. It may mean something else on the economical sense, like the greeting, Greedyng, Frensington, and fleece away, you know, like with an H at the start instead of F, right? Economic definancing and de-economicization of the World Institute in New York, right? You know, like they tell you about commodities such as coin, you know, that crypto coin and stuff, right? Which is really does not exist, and they take your money, right? You go invest in that whatever that mining or whatever it is, right? And then next day, after there is a frenzy, it all goes down to zero, and you left hanging out in the open in the rain, naked. So you saw. Let me show you Parker. You know, it cannot take that long for such a landing in such a movie where, you know, they had to cut scenes and add scenes and so on. So here, the battle is really they're crushing down their enemy. They're, you know, coming down on their enemy. Of course, this should be like very quick, right? You know, this array of weapons can do so much, right? Or they could be blinding people, you know, and luring them into some kind of, you know, investment or whatever it is, right?
Kill drive engines.
Kill drive engines. Kill drive engines means he's just given an order to either destroy, you know, refineries, military coups, all those saboteurs and underground and spies and behind enemy lines and so on. Or it could be, right? Or it could be that stop financing. You know, it could be a financial game here. You know, kill drive engines. What are the drive engines, right? Right. So after you know your money is in, your money is out, right? But then you noticed, right? Let me show you something here. See that thing here? Let me show you. See that thing here? And it's got like three, some kind of a three. That may be the planet itself. It's got like eight. It's a polygon of 8 ribs, right? And then here, right? Then you got like 3 moonlets. You saw them like 3 moonlets. They show up, and that goes to his eye, right? Yeah, 3 moonlets and that. So that's the planet. But what is the planet? It's got an 8 ribbed, right? Uh, Polygon here with lines and then internal polygon as well. I don't know what to call that. Let me show you Yaphet Koto. So you saw Yaphet, right? Or you saw so here's Yaphet Koto. I mean Parker. That's at minute 18:31. Notice, oh, he's shaken to the core. You know, his job behind enemy lines, deceiving people, or spraying them with bad money and so on, and like those sprayers, the rocket engines, is not going well for him, right? Notice. Okay. But he's not among these guys. He and Brett are elsewhere. All right. So you can say this is a stock market crash as well. The battle commenced. So they're like, so this year is like I said, multi-threaded, right? So it goes economical and it goes real military expedition and so on. But notice now they're putting out fires, maybe an economical, stock market crash or something. It happened like 2008 or even before that, right? In 1979, I think the Home and Loan Association savings or whatnot. There are like dates and there's like 1929 and so on. It's all made up, of course. So kill drive engines is also goes both ways, right? Could be explained with two different possibilities here. One is it's economical, right? Or financial, stock market and banks and whatnot. Or it could be military as well. So is turned on the floodlights. The floodlights here meaningly surveillance, distracting the enemies by high intensity lights or whatever metaphor or simile that is. However, it could also mean flood the market with cheap money or, certificates or whatnot.
Dry dock time.
Dry dock, again, that could mean, they got plenty of damages and they're no longer able to operate behind enemy lines and they need to dry dock, meaningly away from battle and so on and so forth. Or it could mean, it could be a financial term, of course, like dry dock, meaningly dry the duck, right?
Dry dock. Tell me to dry dock. No. Any response yet?
No, absolutely nothing. Except the same transmission every 12 seconds. All the other channels are dead.
So all the other channels are dead now. He's only getting that from the 12, either dispersed outside, such as those light bulbs in the mother, they're dispersed everywhere, or behind enemy lines, or, financial, again, we're talking probably financial things. All channels are dead except that one channel. So the manipulation path has been secured. There are no other channels being able to manipulate anything, or the communication lines of the enemy has been severed. And this may mean either way, military or financial, or both at the same time. Notice he turns and says something to the helmet. Again, the helmet, I am now thinking that they're more than just helmets for those helmets. They're more than just helmets for the crew members. There may be spirits, or they're worn at one point or something. I don't know, like the position, or I don't know. I mean, they may have something that I'm not aware of that they can do to disguise or disappear or whatnot, like similar to what's it, like a cloak that makes you disappear. Notice how he does what he does here.
Kick on the floods.
Okay, kick on the floods, as I explained, could be like drown the market, flood the market with, bad money, whatever it is, and so on, because they have to continue operating, right? They cannot allow for things to crash or collapse, right? Their expedition now is about to collapse. The only other instance that I can think of is really when the Mongols invaded Baghdad and they like outnumbered the locals by far, right? They were one historian who witnessed the event, that tragic event of history in humanity, for a tragic human event, right? Destroyed humanity and its knowledge, bastion of knowledge. And then he said they were like hordes of ants climbing the walls of Baghdad, right? That's how numerous they were. But there was a very small force around Baghdad, which is 12,000, I remember. And then the Mongols had help by the Shiites, right? The Shiitas or or Shiites. So the Shiitas are flooded the plain where those 12,000 are, hence disabling them, right? Similar to what's happening here in 2003 and so on. The Shiites of Iraq and Baghdad, Doesn't matter who, they always help, right? The invaders. Okay, here Kane says something that's very crucial.
No.
We can't go anywhere in this.
He can't go anywhere in this. Like, the resistance is very stiff, and doesn't look like it's going to be there's going to be a breakthrough, or financially speaking here, you know, like there's so much mess, and you know, the ship crashed but they didn't completely collapse, there's no hull breach, blah 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 blah, right? But you can see the two sides of the story here.
Well, Mother says the sun's coming up.
So it's almost primordial, and they laugh at him saying 2,000 meters, and then they laugh at him. I think here there are two different meanings to it, right? One is military, right? The guy is dumbass, right? Or it could be financial. They're talking about like 20,000 point or 2,000 point, or, you know, whatever million and blah, 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 you know, mineral ores and so on. And then he says it's a walking distance, and they laugh because they know it's not that easy, right? They needed like very large computers to fabricate numbers and so on. But here there's a note, right? I showed you the blue screen. Same thing here. So that's the enemy, right? The green one. But here it is surrounded, the screen bezel is surrounded by blue lights. So here, in military term, here are the Jews surrounding the Arabs, right? Besieging the Arabs. And that's the blue screen here, right? And these are the reds. So these are the Neos protecting Zion, right? Northeast here means may mean geographical position, right? Because it's a military expedition, right? But it may mean the northeast of the United States, right? Where the Reading and Frensington Institute is. Reading, Frensington, and Fleece Away. Definancing and miseconomicizing institute in New York, New York. So the northeast, that's where the stock markets are, right?
Well, Mother says the sun's coming up in 20 minutes.
I don't know what that is. Maybe that's the your typical late presidents, you know, signing executive orders, subsidizing everybody in that institute when on account of taxpayers.
Far away from the source of transmission.
Northeast.
Northeast, see, that's what I'm saying. 2,000 meters? I don't know. Just under 2,000 meters? I don't know. Maybe they're in Texas. That's 2,000 miles. I don't know.
Under 2,000 meters.
Walking distance.
You see the reaction? So the reaction is that this guy doesn't know that he's going to be the victim, right? He's Ishmael, right? He's going to be a victim. The other thing is he thinks attaining 2,000 meters, or if a meter is 1,000 centimeter, right? Right? 10 by 100, yeah. 1,000 centimeter, so that's 2 million or 20 million iron ore, right? So we're probably talking 20 million here, and these guys laugh because they know it's not that easy, right? Getting those suckers, those people to give their money, you know, invest their money and stuff.
Doing atmospheric?
Yes.
Okay, I got a couple of things to mention to you here. Do you remember in the video where Ash bowed down when Parker asked Ash to get out of his seat, right? And then Ash bowed down to him, although it was in gesture, right? Because they know each other. So there's a concept that we know of in Islam, and then later on it spread and even made into religions, right? So when in Islam we have three different creations. Well, more than that, but the three in focus here are humans, are made of clay and water and organic clay, right? Organic material and so on. Devils or fallen, what is termed as fallen angel, is really different, and that's Yafet, that's Parker. They're made from pure fire, you know, like smokeless fire and stuff like that. While Ash is an angel, is what I'm thinking. Angels are made of light, right? Made of light. So, but at one point before the expulsion from heaven, that's the Islamic statement about it. That fallen angel, or sometimes they call him Azazel, right? Azazel or Azazel, right? We call him Shaitan or Satan or Iblis, right? He was the head of the environment, right? He was the leader, the like more like the president or like the commander of both angels who were made of light as well as the demons or jinns, right? So he was the angel, and they called him. They used a term to say he's the peacock. Peacock because he's the most like prominent and beautiful of birds and it flies and so on. So they called him peacock angel, right? The Iblis or Satan, they called him, or here in the saying fallen angel, or 666 and whatnot, right? They call him peacock. That's why this guy bowed to him, because originally he was his leader, right? Before he was expelled, right? And then now Jibril or Gabriel is the head archangel, right? So I just wanted to explain that to you about that Ash bowing down to Parker when he got out of his seat. Two, owning that entity, possessing that entity, which I believe they term God. They believe that that entity exists in one form or another within a human being or a being, right? And then here, what they're saying is owning that entity brings a lot of money, right? And power and so on and so forth, because you own God, right? And I remember ways when I came to the United States, I was watching MTV, and it was new, like taking the world by storm. And they were playing some kind of cartoons, and one of the cartoons, like a story telling, not children's cartoon, saying an entity like God was trapped and caught, right? And then there was from the head of that. It looks like a baby, right? There was lights moving right and left, but the entity or the spirit or what they say is like godlike entity was trapped and caught, looked like a baby, but it was so powerful. However, it was trapped, right? So it was a baby, right? That's what they were saying there. And that's what I believe here. They're out to trap that entity in 1979, or they may have already trapped it, but now they're traveling outside to bring it back here somewhere where that Zion is. So it'll be forced to inhibit or possess someone, and they own that someone. I believe that's Jonesy, right? The fight here is between Cain and Jonesy, right? So Cain has that entity in him, while Jonesy, while Ripley and her cohorts, right, and minions want to transition that from Cain into Jonesy. So what they do is what I will tell you in video number 4. So again, this is October 17th, 24, 1:38 p.m. And this is an addendum explanation on the on video number 3. Have a nice day. Talk to you tomorrow.